Hello, this is Dr. Do again. This video is alphabetic list problem. I think we're on letter E. I'm going to talk about edema today. What is edema? Edema is the extra accumulation of fluid in the interstitial space, which is in between the tissues. Is any special conditions related to the edema that warrant an emergency visit? Yes. First of all, if the edema is associated with difficulty breathing, especially I think when we talk about the heart failure, we talk about the edema, and also associated with nocturnal dyspnea, or associated with cannot lying down flat. So these are, if that's the case, which means the edema is caused by the heart failure, then you need to go see the emergency room. Or if it is an edema, for example, in the lower extremities, not symmetric. One leg is bigger than the other one, which means probably there is some thrombosis in the vein. Intravenous thrombosis could be very dangerous. Those thrombosis could circulate, could dislodge and fall into the lung, cause the pulmonary edema. So that's very dangerous. So you need to see the emergency to treat or to prevent the PE. And if the edema is associated with allergy, for example, the swelling, the lips and the mouth, the face, everywhere associated with difficulty breathing, which means an anaphylaxis, that is also emergency because it could impair the breathing. That is very dangerous, so you need to visit the emergency. So these are the emergency situation associated with edema. The extra fluid accumulate in the interstitial space, which means between the tissues, or the edema associated with no urine output, or urine output is minimum, less than 500 cc or even less. That means the end stage of kidney disease, either acute or chronic. That is also a sign for the emergency to rescue the kidney function, to preserve the kidney function, and also to correct the electrolyte imbalance, which really very common at the end stage of kidney disease. So these are the associated emergency situation with edema. So what are the other causes? Is there any edema that you can manage at home? Probably not, because that if you have edema, that really means there are a lot of causes, could from the heart, from the kidney, or from the endocrine disease, or from the electrolyte imbalance. All of them are could be very dangerous, so need to be managed under the advice from the physician. So really none of the edema situation, the edema can be managed by self. So regardless, even though it's not an emergency situation, you still need to see your physician if you realize your hands are swelling. Oh, there's one exception. It's not really edema, just associated with a female, I think monthly, because of hormone change. There's some female monthly have this kind of feel swelling of the fingers and at the feet, and then resolved after the period or along with the period. So this is probably the endocrine disturbance, but still you can just watch it, and but still it's a good idea to see your physician to exclude there are any serious problem associated with it. But usually, so this probably is the situation you can manage. Just watch and watch closely. If it's consistent, then you need to see your physician. So what is the edema? Edema is, like I said, extra fluid accumulate in between the tissues, called interstitial space. So we talk about the fluid in the body. It's about intracellular and extracellular. The extracellular fluid, some of them in the blood vessel, which is about 4 to 5 liters for average, and also there's some fluid in between the tissue. And there's a balance between this intracellular, extracellular fluid by the small channel structure equipped with the cell membrane. So if this any of the and also this fluid balance is affected by the iron concentration, particularly sodium, and also the protein content, because it's affect the oncotic pressure, and also the glucose, for example, also can contribute with the drive the fluid along with the glucose accumulation. So this is basically the idea how the fluid maintaining balance inside of the cell and extracellular space, interstitial space. If, for example, the sodium is too high, then the sodium, water follow the sodium. So the water will follow the sodium going to the extracellular space. So that's one of the causes of the edema. And on the other hand, if the sodium is too low, then the water will just go inside of the cells, cause the cell damage. So these are the explanation. Use the language, not a medical term. In terms of regulated, how to regulate it, so the organ regulates this fluid balance, the kidney, and also the some hormones, the endocrine system. To regulate, for example, pancreas can regulate this fluid through regulation of glucose, and the pituitary gland secretes a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, can regulate this fluid through the kidney, and a pituitary gland is produce another hormone, also can regulate this fluid balance. And there's some special situation like metabolic thyroid problem can also have the swelling, but it's not pitting edema. Can also have the fluid accumulate in the interstitial space. So these are all the causes of the edema. And regardless of the causes, need to be managed, like I said, in either emergency or see your physician to manage accordingly. Like what I said is the taking home message for this short video is you probably already know it. You probably, and there's another problem I meant to mention is the hyponutrition, which is low protein. That can cause the edema because the protein can maintain the pressure. Protein can produce this oncotic pressure to drive the fluid along with it. So if the protein is low, then fluid will just accumulate in this interstitial space, cause edema. So what kind of problem can cause this low protein? Liver disease cannot synthesize enough protein, and also a kidney disease, which means lost too much protein, or malnutrition, either not taking enough, or the absorption of the protein from the digestive system has problem, or so these are the causes of this low protein cause edema. It's nowadays probably not common, but in the past it's quite common. Nowadays I think there's still some cases, even though the body weight is not low, but the protein could be low because of the body weight was formed by the other component, such as lipid, for example. So this is the video of edema, very brief to explain in the non-medical term, and just give you some idea what kind of problem can cause edema, and what kind of situation you need to see the emergency room, and what kind of situation you need to talk to your physician, and also the causes of this edema. I'm going to stop here, and thank you for watching. I will see you next time.